Hey, I love Bryson DeChambeau and what he's done for the single plane, but I get asked a lot, is there anything I could help Bryson improve? Let's talk about that today.
So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. Years ago, I was frustrated because I lost that. I was confused, I was frustrated, and then I met Mo Norman and learned the single plane swing. And so now I wake up every day and I know I'm going to hit it well, I know I'm going to play well, I know I'm going to have fun. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing.
Hey, welcome to the channel today. I know it's a bit controversial for me and presumptuous to maybe say that Bryson DeChambeau should change some swing mechanics. But again, I like the science of the swing. Bryson likes the science of the swing. So I have to look at this from a more scientific perspective and ask the question, what is biomechanically happening that Bryson injured his wrists? And by the way, the wrists are one of the most fragile joints in the body. I broke my wrist in college. I was in a cast for 10.5 months. It kind of messed up my college golf career because of a wrist injury. So wrist injuries can really be debilitating, obviously, to golf. But I got to ask the question, biomechanically, why did it happen? So our job as coaches is not only to teach you a better way to swing, right? But it's also to keep it safe. Part of the reason of biomechanics in the single plane swing, it saves your back, it saves your wrist too. But let's talk about what I see happening biomechanically in Bryson's movement that I would change. Again, it's presumptuous, but I'm a coach, right? And I've got to look at these things from that perspective. I think Bryson's grips are too big. And I know that sounds crazy. And no company other than our company gets more questions about grip size because we teach the single plane swing. So while I love Bryson's swing mechanics, I think one biomechanical thing is happening that's creating wrist injury. Let me just go through it. So we know that we need shaft lean. So let me explain this. We know that in order to hit a short iron, and by the way, I see a lot of Bryson's situation with his short irons. I don't see it so much with his longer clubs. I see it in his short irons. That's where I see the problem, or his shorter clubs, because we need shaft lean. Why do we need shaft lean in a club? This is a 9-iron. And for me to hit the center of mass of this 9-iron, I need to compress the center of mass of a golf ball. But notice, if the ball's on the ground and this club's sitting straight up and down, I cannot match this center of mass with this center of mass. The only way I can do that with this 9-iron and short irons, and every iron, by the way, is to have a certain amount of shaft leaning forward. And what that does is it brings the loft of the face down on the club, and it allows you to hit strike down matching center mass, where you get compression and those things we look for in proper ball flight, which is smashing the golf ball. But here I got a question for you. How do I smash a golf ball the easiest way possible? That's really the question we have to ask here. I got to smash the golf ball. So the way I do it in a good golf swing is I simply line the club up with the lead arm, and the lead arm leads, and look, I have a natural lean in the shaft. So because of the hand position, because of the body position, I have a natural lean in the shaft. Here's where I think Bryson's having some trouble. If I make this handle too big, and by the way, this is the radius bone of the arm, this bone right here. There's an axis of the shaft, and notice how the axis of the shaft, you can pull on the axis of the shaft. It's the way the club is built. I've got to make this axis lean forward on the club. So I can put this axis of the shaft under this arm, and I naturally, look, lean the club, see? Lean the club. And by the way, a driver has less lean because the ball is more forward, and as the irons get shorter and shorter and shorter, you need more lean in the shaft. There's science to that, but I don't want to get into club design and why it's built that way. Now, here's Bryson's issue. If your grips get too big, the size of the grip pulls the axis on this side of the arm. So in other words, his hand is, people would call it too weak of a position, but it's really an axis problem. So now, how do you take a club that's not lined up with the arm and lean it forward? And you have to make a huge attempt. You have to make a very huge attempt to roll this wrist that direction. Now, with Bryson's power and speed, you obviously see that he makes a huge effort to hit down on these wedges, and you see these big pellets and divots coming out when he hits a golf ball. He just doesn't need to work that hard. But even more so, because his grip is so large, it's making his hand, it sticks it up in the palm of the hand, it gets the radius bone on this side of the club, and now he's got to make this huge attempt to square it up. Again, I've seen his face open at the top many times. You can get away with some of that with the longer clubs, but not with the short irons. You really have to fight hard to get shaft lean, because these require more shaft lean, if that makes sense. So the simple way to do it is just get this arm in a position. I'm not saying strengthen too far. I'm saying get a little smaller grip for Bryson, to where, see, that club is under that radius bone, and now you see that I already have a natural lean. See how the handle is on that side of my arm, and now it naturally leans forward, and see, that's why I can take a divot, and that's why it compresses very easily, because it's already on the proper side of the arm. Now, let me take that one step further. If you're one of those guys, and I get tons of calls like this, if you're one of those people that says, oh, I want bigger grips on my clubs, I've done a whole video on this, and all of a sudden you put bigger grips on the clubs and you're hitting it to the right and you can't score the face. That's because naturally what you're doing is you're getting the radius bone on this side of the arm, you're taking it back, and now you got to score the face, and the face stays open because Bryson's very strong, and he can rotate this hand down. So you're fighting to square the face because of the axis and radius bone. You leave it to the right, you slice the golf ball, and you're like, I can't square the face, all because of that big grip. And here's what you do then. Okay, you hit it to the right. So what you do is you take that big grip, and then you take this axis of your hand and you put it on this side of the club, and now you got a closed face. So that big grip is a problem, because it's either having you on this side, or when you rotate the axis on top of the club, you get the club too closed. Now you got a closed club face. That's why you got to have properly fit grips, and proper fitting means lining up with this radius bone of the arm. So anyway, that's the cause and effect. Like, I always look for cause and effect, and that's the cause and effect of why I see Bryson having an injury in his wrist, because of this issue with the size of the grip and how hard he's having to hit down on the golf ball. Anyway, that's my take on it for now. Thanks for joining me. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next video.